For the big story we're tracking at this hour, a bench headed by Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana has ordered a court-monitored probe into the Pegasus snooping row. The court has said some critical things in this hearing, and let me lay out some of the broad points. The court said that the centre's vague denial wasn't sufficient and that the nature of allegations is about fundamental rights being violated. Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana said that it is undeniable that surveillance affects the rights and freedom of people and how it is exercised. It is also about the freedom of press and the important role played by them. Such technology may have a chilling effect on the right to press. This is what was said in court. The court has also said that the allegation is about foreign agencies being involved and there can be no free pass under national security. The probe will be executed and conducted by an ex-judge with the help of cyber experts. Justice R.V. Ravindran, retired judge of the Supreme Court, will head the committee along with other experts, including those from the National Forensic University, who will be a part of the expert panel that will now look into this matter. The next hearing has been listed for coming up in the court in the next 8 weeks. Sukirti, tracking the details of this story very closely, joins us with the very latest. Sukirti, the Supreme Court has ordered a court-monitored probe into the Pegasus snooping row. Several important points have been made in this verdict. What more can you tell us?
Well, yes, several important remarks from the Supreme Court today. One, it dismissed the argument of the centre, which had so far refused to file a detailed affidavit in the case, citing national security concerns. The Supreme Court said that we are also concerned about national security, but if you cite it as a reason, you have to give proper justification on it. But there were only vague denials from the government. There was no proper clarity from the government on why national security is going to be hampered, and that is why we cannot accept it as an argument. And just in the name of national security, you cannot get a free pass every time, and the Supreme Court is not going to remain a mute spectator because you cite national security. It also made several comments on how freedom of speech and expression is important and rights of journalists and protection of sources is important. So if there are allegations that their phones are being hacked, then that is something that definitely needs to be probed into, and as a result, the Supreme Court said they are forming a 3-member committee headed by a retired judge of the Supreme Court who will be assisted by a former IPS officer as well as certain technical experts, and a separate subcommittee of 3 technical experts has also been given to this retired judge of the Supreme Court, who will oversee this entire probe, and a report is to be submitted after 8 weeks after a thorough inquiry has been carried out. We also spoke to Mr. Shadan Farasat, who is the lawyer representing several petitioners in the case, importantly journalists like Mr. N. Ram as well as Shashi Kumar. This is what the petitioner's lawyer had to say. So I have with me Mr. Shadan Farasat, who is representing journalists Mr. N. Ram as well as Mr. Shashi Kumar. In this case, they were the petitioners. We will speak to him for more. So firstly, we'd like to know from you, so far the centre's stance had been that because of national security, we cannot present the facts. But what did the Supreme Court say on that point, and what are the other issues with regard to fundamental rights that the Supreme Court raised today?
Yeah, so it's a very progressive judgment on that aspect. The Union of India effectively across the bar, that is in oral arguments, had made a submission that national security implications will be there, without in any way really substantiating as to what those national security implications will be. And the court was therefore of the view that, of course, we are extremely concerned with national security as an issue, but you have to provide us material to show how national security is implicated. You can't just use it as a passing argument without substantiating it, and therefore they rejected that argument. And they said this is the way they looked at it is a violation of citizens' right to privacy under the Constitution, which does need some redress. So prima facie, they did find some material and some credibility in what the petitioners had to say.
Sir, the centre had said that it wanted to form the committee on its own. That's the argument they had put forth in court. We will form the committee. You just supervise it. The Supreme Court can supervise it. Now the Supreme Court has formed the committee on its own. So that has taken away that say from the centre to form the committee or decide the members. So as a petitioner, are you happy with the Supreme Court taking control of who the committee members are going to be?
Yeah, absolutely. We are happy because, as you know, the allegation was that NSO software is sold only to governments. Now, based on that, because we also as petitioners don't have complete knowledge, based on that, our submission was that, listen, it's the finger of suspicion is at the government as well. Investigation will reveal who all, but at least at the government as well. So surely when the finger of suspicion is at the government as well, the government cannot be investigating itself. You need an independent mechanism. And the Supreme Court seems to have gone with that line.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for speaking to us. So that is what the lawyers for the petitioners have to say, that they are calling it a progressive judgment in terms of Supreme Court taking control of who the committee members are going to be, and the fact that the centre cannot use national security as an excuse every time. The Supreme Court will not be a mute spectator. In New Delhi, with camera person Sushil Rathi, this is Sukirti Dwivedi for NDTV.